On this episode, we will be discussing the sophomore album from Melbourne based soul artist WILSN and her album Bloom. This is All Gas, No Trash. My name's Adam, and welcome back to the program, and welcome to a brand new episode. Before we get underway, we do have to do the Game Rage No Curse Minute, where we kill the first 60 seconds of the program in order to play nice with the YouTube algorithm, with no cursing and no swearing whatsoever. And first, I want to give a quick shout out to everybody that has been listening to our program on RSS, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you've been listening. We appreciate it, especially those that have been liking, commenting, and subscribing on YouTube. We sincerely appreciate you. Please continue to do that. And additionally, we have some songs we will be talking about in the coming week. Of course, we are talking about Scuzzlin's latest release, so be on the lookout for that, and that'll be the Game Rage No Curse Minute. Alright, so I do want to do a quick segment before we get to the album review, and this is a segment I'm going to call Corrections and Retractions, a la Petros and Money for anybody that listens on AM 570. But in the past, I have made episodes about Don West, WILSN, Ella Thompson, and EJ Warland, and I think at some point I said Emma Thompson instead of Ella Thompson. L as in lake, llama, you know. But yeah, I felt very bad about that. I haven't looked into it. I'm 90% sure I did it. I don't want to go back and look, but I just want to quickly apologize for that. But yeah, it's Ella Thompson and not Emma Thompson. And the reason that is significant, the reason that I mention those names so frequently throughout each of those artists' episodes is because I think we got something special going on here. As far as soul music in Australia goes, these to me are the prominent figures that are, I guess you could say, the ambassadors of the genre for Australia. And I've been paying attention to them, and I feel like something is happening here. And we have WILSN, who's releasing her second album, and of course Don West releasing his own debut album on November 14th, so be on the lookout for that. I've said it numerous times already, but yeah, amongst those four names, I think we have something very special going on here, and it feels like the beginning of the bloom, no pun intended, or the inception, possibly, of a movement within Australia as far as the soul genre goes. I don't know if there's more people on the way, but judging by the fact that people are taking a chance and making this music when it's not all that popular just yet, maybe the tides are turning with these artists, and I'm very excited to see what the future holds, not only for these artists, but the people that come afterwards. And I'm very hopeful that at some point these people will meet or speak with one another, and I'm hoping that we get to see them collectively on one bill, or maybe collaborating on tracks together. But that's just wishful thinking, but I'm putting it out there so that they are put on notice, or that maybe if they see this episode that they maybe interact with each other at some point. I'm hoping. But anyways, that's besides the point. This episode is dedicated to the album review of WILSN's second or sophomore album called Bloom. So let's go ahead and get to the details of the album. Once again, we are listening to WILSN, who is a Melbourne-based soul artist that credits the genre for being integral to her life and also the music that she writes. In addition to that, she made the pilgrimage out to Brooklyn, New York, as she believes that it is the heat source for soul music. And she recorded at Hive Mind Recordings, where she collaborated with numerous musicians from different bands like Charles Bradley, Sharon Jones, the Dap Kings, The Sacred Souls, and Jalen and Gonda. And amongst those musicians, Binky Griptite, who is the band leader of Sharon Jones, the Dap Kings, co-wrote a song, Waiting for You, that we will be listening to shortly. Serving as producers, we have Billy Oxtick, who was the music director of Charles Bradley, whom WILSN had met at the Corner Hotel where Wilson had played support to Charles Bradley, and the rest is history. And lastly, we have Stephen Charles Mowat, who is the husband of Wilson, also being a producer on this album. And I believe that is everybody that we should be giving credits to. So let's go ahead and get to the album itself. We are listening to Bloom, the sophomore album from Wilson. And the first track that we are going to listen to is called The Way. Now, we have listened to some of these songs in the past. I do want to clarify that, but we are going to go with an empty head, no expectations, nothing carrying over from previous episodes. So let's go ahead and give it a listen. Once again, we are listening to The Way from Wilson. Go ahead and pull it up on your digital streaming platform of choice, and let's give it a whirl. Once again, that track is called The Way from Wilson. Going in. Hey, welcome back. That was Wilson with her track called The Way, the opening track off of her second album. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. I can tell this album is wearing boxing gloves because it's punching way above its class and it can swing with the best. I'm talking Penrose Records, Daptone Records, Coal Mine Records, Big Crown Records. It could stand toe-to-toe with any of them, and this is something coming out of Australia right now. Very impressive first track. And it is a punchy love song about being guarded in a relationship, not realizing when you have a good thing coming your way, let alone somebody that is treating you right. What a marvelous way to start off the album. And I want to believe Stephen Mowat, who is also serving as producer, is doing the mixing as well. As far as I can tell, or at least on his Instagram profile, he credits himself as being a mixer, so I'm 90% sure it's him. And if it is, he did a great job here with the balancing act of juggling the drum kit, the guitar, the organ keys, the trumpets. I mean, there was a lot of instruments to be featured, and that's all coupled with having to make space for Wilson herself, who showed her vocal prowess. And the part that I particularly liked was in the latter portion of the song when she says, "It's beyond a shadow of a doubt, you showed me what love is all about, opened up my eyes so I could see, yeah, you really start to make me believe in what could be." And then she belts out this word. She's like, "Yeah." I mean, I can't do it any justice, but then you have the horns or the trumpets accompanying that, and it just kind of crescendos from there. And I'm like, oh, holy shit, it's exploding. The song's exploding. And the song is done in this staccato playstyle that makes it extra punchy, and it just makes you kind of want to two-step. But yeah, what a great fucking track to open the album. And of course, we already have to get to the next track, which is called Keep Walkin'. So pull it up on your digital streaming platform of choice, and we're going to give it a listen. Once again, the track is called Keep Walking from Wilson. Let's go ahead and give it a whirl. Going in. Welcome back. That was Wilson with the second track called Keep Walkin'. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. So this track, I think for me, and yes, I have listened to some of the other songs, but this is one of those songs that I think Wilson took inspiration from Amy Winehouse. And I point specifically to the baritone sax, and even the way the song is arranged, it just kind of has that similar feel to it. And for whatever reason, that guitar, that specific tone or effect that is featured in this track reminds me of like 60s spy movies, or something from like the yay pop era of France. And there's like this specific song that comes to mind for me because it like, to me, personifies the sounds of the guitar in the 60s from a band called Ken Woodman and his Piccadilly Brass, a song called Mexican Flyer. If you ever have a chance to check that song out, give it a listen, because that is what it mostly reminds me of, is like something from the 60s, Nancy Sinatra, or maybe like Francois Hardy, on top of the Amy Winehouse feel or vibe of the song. And yeah, it's another great track from Wilson. And I think the strongest part of the track is the chorus itself. Very catchy, and it's got a great hook to it. And as far as the gist of the songs, it seems to be discussing an ex-partner or ex-lover that has come back into the fold, or someone that you have run into on the streets, and you're hoping you don't have to actually speak to them. There's a chance that you could fall back into a nasty cycle of potential manipulation, because this person is a charmer and they have a way of mesmerizing you with their words. And in order to avoid that situation completely, you just hope that they keep walking, as the song notes. So let's go ahead and get to the next track, which is the title of the album itself, Bloom. So go ahead and pull it up on your digital streaming platform of choice. Once again, the track is called Bloom from WILSN. Going in. Welcome back. That was WILSN with her track called Bloom. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. So I have mixed feelings about this track, and I don't know where I'm at with it. I feel like I'm lukewarm overall, would probably be the most apt description, because there are things that I enjoy about it, but as far as where I think this song should start, the part of the lyrics where she says, "So is this season all depression, or is it my next goddamn lesson?" For whatever reason, I thought that should have been the start of the song, and it's probably the way that WILSN sings it that feels the most melodically interesting to me. And as far as what I like about it, is that it reminds me of this track from the Spinners called "I'll Be There," and it's specifically like the what is it, like the bongos or the congas in the background, and the tempo of the song that remind me of that track from the Spinners. And the last third of the track, where from the chorus onwards, where WILSN just starts going off on these amazing notes that she sings, I'm just like, holy fuck, that is one of the most impressive vocal displays that I've heard this year from any artist. And we still have 11 tracks to go through. But at the moment, this is the Queen of the Hill as far as tracks in this album. But I think what it is for me, as far as what I could credit where this song has faults in it, is maybe the melody kind of comes across as flat compared to the other two, where it really takes you on a roller coaster, and this one just kind of flatlines. And it's not so much that WILSN is flat, because she sings amazingly, but it's just that the emotional beats don't hit as hard until we get to the chorus, and within the lyrics, that's where it falls flat for me melodically. But like I said, I don't hate it. I think I just feel lukewarm about this one. So we'll go ahead and get to the next track, which is called Big Star. So go ahead and pull it up on your digital streaming platform of choice. Once again, that track is called Big Star from WILSN. Going in. Welcome back. That was WILSN with her track called Big Star. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. So the overall gist that I got from the song is that this is about an ex-lover that is a performing and possibly even recording artist, and how they continue to be a man-child. And man, she has some cold ass lines, especially in the chorus, where she says, I'm just going to read it word for word. She says, "If only they knew, oh, how I know you got this far, baby. Yeah, they all think you're a big star. I see who you are. Still driving daddy's car, childhood, single bed, never paid no rent. Your mama keeps you fed. You're 5 plus 32. If only they knew." What a clever way to say that somebody is a man child, that they're simultaneously 5 years old and also 37 when you add the two numbers together. Damn, man, that is cold as fuck. And then there's a part where she's talking about how this person extorts their parents, hard work ethic for their own means. Where is it? It's something about Bones that let's see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. That you buy all of your guitars with your parents' credit cards while writing songs like Your Life Ain't a Breeze. Work their fingers to the bone, referring to his parents, so you can tour your band and live at home. You've got no responsibilities. Jesus Christ, man. And then she talks about uh how this person charms women and gives this illusion of being mysterious or whatever, and it turns out it's not really all that deep, and they still live at home, and they they still use their parents for money and food and shelter basically. And fucking A, dude, this song is goddamn amazing. And the criticisms that I had about Bloom, where I felt like it melodically flatlined in the verses, that was not the case here, where Wilson at the start of the song started off with the lower notes, and then when she gets to the second set of lyrics just before the chorus, where she says, "And out there in your world, they think you're all that. They don't know you skip over the facts, like who's on your bedroom wall, who pays for your phone, and how you've never lived out of home." She starts like stepping upwards in notes. She starts hitting higher notes during that whole part, and then eventually it just starts exploding at the chorus, and it's just fucking amazing, man. And I wish I had better words to describe it, but like I said, this is one of the stronger tracks on the album, and this is one of the singles that was released before the album came out, and I can see why, because this one is a fucking banger and a half. But let's get to the next track, because we have quite a few tracks that we have to get to. So let's go ahead and get to Girl, which is, damn it, man. I think this is my favorite track. Even though I said I was going to go with no expectations and no memories of my listening experiences previously. But damn it, I love this song. God damn it. Anyways, we're going to listen to Girl. Pull it up on your digital streaming platform of choice. Once again, that track is called Girl from WILSN. Going in. Welcome back. That was WILSN with her track called Girl. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. And Girl, let me tell you, this song is perfection. And the reason why I believe that is because so often in the soul genre do we get songs that are written about love, romance, relationships, and breakups. And very rarely do we have songs about the feminine experience. And I'm talking specifically about two women sharing deep personal thoughts and life experiences and even emotions. And it's the way that WILSN eloquently puts these thoughts or ideas down on this song that feels so genuine and caring. And I point specifically to the part where she says, "I've been wondering just how you've been lately. How are you doing? How is your sister? Did she finally cave?" And then she does that again with the same four parts. And the last part, she changes to asking if her girlfriend is getting along with her mother-in-law. And at the very end, she has this part where it's the exact same thing, but the last part changes to her asking if she still misses her family, or does she feel like she finally has a home. And I'm guessing if that is referring to adjusting to the married life, feeling as though she's made a home with her husband. And I just think that's so genuine and caring. And yes, there are other parts to be enjoyed as far as the lyrics, but that's the part that I really loved about this song. And as far as the instrumentals go, this one feels more stripped back than just having the guitar being more prevalent and the drum kit, of course. And I think there's like a xylophone played in the background, and the saxophone, or rather the horns, are more sporadic in this track. They are present, but not nearly as prevalent as in other songs. So that was a nice little bit of contrast compared to the other songs. But it's just the sentiment in the song and the way that is written and the way it is delivered on top of the instrumentals. It's just so good, and I just can't imagine this song being topped with the other 9 or 10 tracks that we have to listen to, but we'll give it a shot. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get to the next track, which is called If You Want My Love. So go ahead and pull it up on your digital streaming platform of choice. Let's give it a listen. Once again, the track is called If You Want My Love from WILSN, going in. Welcome back. That was WILSN with her track called If You Want My Love. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. All right, so the general gist of the song, at least from what I can understand, is about love being like this inanimate object that you can give away. And the song isn't entirely all that deep, but it is quite fun and vibrant. And I get Al Green impressions from the percussion and also the guitar. It's like that soft bongo like pattering, but it might just be a drum kit being played in a very soft manner. But maybe there is an additional percussion instrument that I'm not like picking up on or don't know the name of. But it's just that, in addition to the guitar tone or effect that is being displayed here, that gives off Al Green vibes. And that's what I love about this track. And of course, you have the awesome vocals of WILSN on display here, and she is such a vocal powerhouse. And I wish I had better words to describe this music, but if not for anything, I just want to say that, so far I've been impressed by this album, with the exception of Bloom that I wasn't entirely sold on, but it's just been an amazing listen, and I want to see how the rest of this album unfolds. So let's go ahead and get to the next track, which is a song called Waiting for You. So go ahead and pull it up on your digital streaming platform of choice. Once again, we are listening to Waiting for You from WILSN, going in. Welcome back. That was WILSN with her track called Waiting for You. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. I was not expecting to enjoy this track as much as I did. It's up there with the upper echelon of songs that we've heard on this album. I don't know where it lies. I don't know if it's top 3 or top 5, but it is definitely up there. And the reason that I love this track is how good the drum and bass sound on this song. And I love how in the pocket the bass line is. And that bass line was fucking grooving. It was like boom, 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 boom. And this is such an odd description or analogy to describe this song, but I feel like the broth, or let's describe this song as a soup, right? The broth is the organ keys, and the morsels of like vegetables are the bass and drum kits, like swimming on top of this organ broth. And then you have like these really savory pieces of meat, which are WILSN's vocals and the backing vocals. And I'm curious to know if the backing vocals are just WILSN doubled up or quadrupled up on the recording of these vocal tracks. But yeah, this track reminds me, oddly enough, of so I mean, they're not even like, I don't think they're comparable genres, but Dusty Springfield with Son of a Preacher Man, those powerful backing vocals from that track remind me a lot of this. And yes, man, I thought I heard it all with WILSN, but she really fucking goes all out on this track. And as far as like what other song comes to mind for me for this song, the tempo of the track reminds me of It's Our Love from The Sacred Souls. And as it was mentioned previously, WILSN had a musician, or possibly even more, from The Sacred Souls working on this album or collaborating with her on this album. So it would be fitting for me to get that idea from this track, and knowing that she had a few musicians from the band itself playing on this album. But as far as what I could take away from the lyrics, it seems to be talking about the virtue of patience to not only wait for good things to come to you, but also in a relationship to have patience and understanding for another person and to be cooperative and compromising. And there's this part in the song where Wilson says, "Life's a mystery, but babe, you better get used to me." And I think that's a very fun and playful manner to say that you co-signed on this relationship, and for better or for worse, we're gonna ride this thing out and buckle up. It's so many words, but I love that. And I also like the part in the chorus when the drums go bum 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 bum. Have you been waiting for me? Man, I just love the impact that part creates with the drums. Um, just a very awesome track. Again, this is one of the many tracks that I've enjoyed, but this one is up there. And I really wasn't expecting to like this song so much, but it is definitely up there. So let's go ahead and get to the next track on the album, which is called Weightless. So go ahead and pull it up on your digital streaming platform of choice, and let's give it a listen. Once again, the track is called Weightless from WILSN. Going in. Welcome back. That was WILSN with her track called Weightless. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. All right. This song was hammy as fuck, and it was so sweet that it was giving me a toothache, and I want to get a spray bottle to spray Wilson in the face and tell her no, because those lyrics, they were cringe as fuck, and I just didn't like this track. And it's not to discredit the musicians or even the melody or Wilson's vocals or anything like that, but this song was just too hammy for me, and I couldn't take it, man. I couldn't take it. So we got to move on to the next track, which is Our Love. So go ahead and pull it up on your digital streaming platform of choice, and let's give it a listen. Once again, the track is called Our Love from WILSN. Going in. Welcome back. That was WILSN with her track called Our Love. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. All right, so I love the way this song opened with the horn section going ba-da, 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 ba-da-da. And then it gets a little bit higher and it gets a little bit louder. Ba-da, 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 ba-da-da. So good. And the part that I loved in the chorus is when she says, "Don't make me wait." And it's the aggression in her voice and the cadence in which she delivers it that gives me the idea, or it paints a picture in my head that she's stomping her feet in frustration that her partner is walking out the door to kind of get some space and maybe to clear his head. And I do like the message of the song that, you can come out of a fight and still come back together, even if there were some nasty words exchanged or whatever it might be. That this is just another one of those fights that we're going to get through. And yeah, maybe this one might give the impression that they might not come back for it, but we all know how the story plays out because Wilson is in fact married. But it's the growing pains of being involved with somebody or having a relationship and the numerous fights that come with it. But I don't have anything else to add about the track. I thought it was enjoyable. Actually, no, I do have something to say. At the 3-minute mark and 2 seconds, that was the most impressive vocal performance part of the song, where Wilson just belts out fucking hard ass notes. And again, I am flabbergasted of what she's able to do with her voice, and I can't even put words together. But yeah, what a vocal display from Wilson amongst the tracks that we've heard. But let's go ahead and get to the next song, which is called When Will Love Come My Way. Go ahead and pull it up on your digital streaming platform of choice, and let's give it a listen. Once again, the track is called When Will Love Come My Way from WILSN. Going in. Welcome back. That was Wilson with her track called When Will Love Come My Way. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. As previously stated, not all the songs have lyrics, it's mostly just the singles that have the lyrics. But, anyways, what I loved about this track is how it opens with that grand piano and how Wilson shows another side to her voice with being more on the velvety and sultry side. And then she goes back to the grand nature of her voice, being more bombastic and grandiose. And man, if I haven't said it before, Wilson and company, referring to all the musicians who worked on this album, they really sell the chorus, and it's so fucking impressive. And it's just been a great listen to all the tracks that we've heard. And I mean, with the exception of Bloom and one other track I forgot, or I think it's Weightless that I wasn't in love with, but with the exception of those two, it's just been a very fun listen, and we're getting very close to the end, but I love this track. I don't have anything additional to add, so let's go ahead and get to the next one, which is 6 Feet Deep. Go ahead and pull it up on your digital streaming platform of choice, and let's go ahead and give it a listen. Once again, that track is called 6 Feet Deep from Wilson, going in. Welcome back. That was Wilson with her track called 6 Feet Deep. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. All right, that was a very cool return to the Motown sound. And one of the strong parts I thought about this track was the baritone sax having its moment to shine in the chorus and also having its own solo. And at the very end, Wilson takes a back seat in letting the guitar have its own solo moment as well, which I thought was very cool. And that melody, man, in the chorus was so fucking good, especially with the baritone sax going bum 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 bum. So good, dude. Another amazing track from Wilson, and I don't know if we're gonna come down from this, if we're gonna have, one or two stinkers to end out the album, but I don't see that happening. Actually, one thing I forgot to add is this song reminds me, just in vibes and the tempo of the song, it reminds me of Martha Reeves and the Vandellas with their song called Dancing in the Streets, even though this song is more on the melancholic side and that one's more on the jubilant side. But anyways, let's go ahead and get to the next track. And the song is called Miss You. Go ahead and pull it up on your digital streaming platform of choice. And let's give it a listen. Once again, the track is called Miss You from Wilson, going in. Welcome back. That was Wilson with her track called Miss You. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. All right, so I have a few thoughts. And to start off, what I think is impressive about Wilson herself is to have all these different shades of the soul genre instilled within her, and to be an amalgamation of the genre itself, and for her to distribute out this music in her own form and to be as eclectic as she has on this album is so damn impressive. And what I think we're getting here, or the impression that I get, is Lady Ray with her album Piece of Me. And the specific song that comes to mind is this song called Come On In. And it has like this really awesome piano melody that reminds me of this track from Wilson. And again, I'm just left at a loss of words because of what she's been able to accomplish with this album, in addition to everybody that worked on this album. And yeah, I don't have any additional words to share. So man, let's just go ahead and get to the next tracks. And that track is called Without You. Oh, how apt is that we have a song called Miss You, and then we follow up with Out You. And we're going to go ahead and give it a listen. Once again, the track is called Without You from Wilson. So go ahead and pull it up on your digital streaming platform of choice, and let's give it a whirl. Wilson with Without You, going in. Welcome back. That was Wilson with her track called Without You. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Man, Wilson has pulled out yet another trick out of her bag. You magnificent bastard, you've done it again. To have a gospel song included in this album, it just really showcases the variety of sounds that we've heard. And of course, the song itself is about the impossibility of living without the person that you love most in your life, that you simply cannot live without them. It's impossible. It's not a fathomable thing. And yeah, man, I'm just so surprised to hear a song like this. I thought we've heard it all, man, and she just keeps surprising us, throwing more stuff at us. How are we going to end this album? I want to know. So let's go ahead and get to the last track, which is called Love You I Do. Pull it up on your digital streaming platform of choice and let's end this thing. Once again, the track is called Love You I Do from WILSN, Going In. Welcome back. That was WILSN with her track called Love You I Do. As you could hear through the microphone, I am smiling with my teeth from ear to ear. This track was the most Aretha Franklin pill track I've heard. And man, I was like fucking swaying like Ray Charles from side to side, like, or even Stevie Wonder for that matter. What a fantastic fucking way to end this album. And let's just get to the album review itself. Let's get to the final thoughts and review. So, final thoughts. WILSN has put on a masterclass of the soul genre in addition to the other genres that we've heard. And she has become one of the faces of Australian soul. And not to turn this into a competition, but she has certainly become public enemy number one. She is such a great ambassador for soul music in Australia. And I hope she inspires many generations that come afterwards, whether that's here in the US or Australia or wherever. It's such an impressive display from herself and also all the musicians that were featured, in addition to the people that mix and master this album. I can't say enough good things about this album. What an experience. And while it was not perfect, I cannot give it a perfect score, but what I can't say is that it is as close as you can get. So I will give it a 9.5. And that's despite the fact that I wasn't all that enthusiastic about Weightless and lukewarm about Bloom, but everything else was gold, if not better than gold. Once again, I am giving a score of 9.5 out of 10. Make sure you buy her vinyl, buy the merch, buy tickets to her shows, and make sure you show up. Follow her on Instagram. You know the rest. That's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you all next time.